Scott Clifton, Liam Spencer, recently disclosed the strategy behind his character's life-saving turn and admitted that Liam's death was the true plan, according to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, BNB. In an interview with Daytime Confidential on the red carpet for the Daytime Emmys, Scott Clifton talked about the nearly catastrophic brain tumor plotline. The soap opera world was certainly in a frenzy over Liam's diagnosis back when it seemed that he would, in fact, meet a tragic end. At first, a lot of admirers were worried that Liam would actually pass away young. It seems that Scott Clifton, who was informed that this storyline would be Liam's swan song, felt the same way. Bradley Bell, BNB's executive producer and head writer, called Liam into his office and told him he was going to kill Liam. This was meant to be an actual death rather than a fake-out, as the show has done with Eric Forrester, John McCook, and other characters throughout the years. I was terrified too. I was supposed to be going. That was the plan. It wasn't like this grand scheme was deceiving the audience, Clifton confirmed. Clifton continued by saying that he thought Liam was truly dealing with a fatal brain tumor, which is why he played those early sequences. Clifton is ultimately appreciative that he was able to keep his work and have those powerful scenes since it provided him with some good material. Even though he couldn't identify the precise reason why Bell changed his mind, Clifton suggested that the audience's reaction and support might have had an impact. Consequently, Clifton expressed gratitude to the fans. "It is the privilege of my life to entertain you," said Clifton, "and I am so grateful to you for just letting me stay. I'm not sure what triggered that, but I have to assume that you're all involved." Naturally, it was later revealed that Liam's brain tumor diagnosis was a ruse by Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech. Fortunately, Grace was apprehended after using a fake method to scam Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, out of $1 million. Keep checking back for any further wedding-related events, as teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Liam's reunion with Hope Logan, Annika Noel, is close. The aftermath of Steffi's confrontation with Luna at the prison door still echoed behind her as she stepped back out into the crisp Los Angeles air, the cold wind doing nothing to calm her racing heart. As she walked alongside Finn toward the car, the kids riding in the back seat chattered about their day as though nothing momentous had happened, and for a brief instant Steffi envied their innocence. But as soon as she saw Finn glance at her, his expression somber, she knew the moment of normalcy had passed. The taxi ride home was quiet. Steffi stared out the window at the city lights, at the palm trees standing sentinel under a starless sky, and thought of how close everything had come to shattering. Back at the Forrester Cliff House, Ridge and Taylor were waiting. Ridge stood by the window, shoulders tense, having just returned from a business meeting and been informed of Steffi's return. Taylor offered a gentle smile, warm, reassuring, but behind her eyes was concern. As Steffi entered, Kelly and Hayes burst forward to hug her, anchoring her to the present for a moment. The joy of reunion flickered in the room, real, heartfelt, but Steffi suppressed it. She willed herself to feel relief, to feel happy, but part of her remained locked in the prison visitation room with Luna. Ridge moved in, arms open, and Steffi allowed herself a hug. Her father's strength a temporary balm. Then, feeling the weight of unsaid truths, she broke away and told them simply, "I went to see her. I told Luna exactly what she needs to hear." Ridge frowned. Taylor tilted her head. Finn exhaled, and Finn then explained the full truth. They'd waited until Steffi returned to tell her. Luna was alive, and she was pregnant with Will's child. The words themselves had seemed impossible when first uttered, but now they hovered in the air between them. Steffi's shock quickly turned to anger, then to fierce resolve. She told Ridge that his decision to marry Brooke had already disappointed her. Now this. Ridge opened his mouth but closed it again. Taylor gently reminded the group that while the shock was new, the danger had always been present. Steffi's eyes flashed. She told them, "This isn't over. Nothing changes. Luna pays for what she did. Pregnancy or not. There are no shortcuts." The room held its breath. Meanwhile, at the Spencer mansion, Bill and Katie stood with a grim determination in Will's large office, overlooking the formal gardens below. Will sat, shoulders slumped, phone in hand, eyes haunted by images of what he had endured, of the betrayal, the mask, the drugged state, the baby growing inside Luna. Katie placed a hand on his shoulder and said softly he was not alone. Bill, his voice low yet iron-hard, broke into the silence. If Luna thinks this child means she walks free, she's got another thing coming. He promised Will, promised Katie, that he had already consulted advisors about custody. He admitted to his son that his own error, trusting Luna once, had unleashed all this. "I'm going to fix it," Bill vowed. Will gave the faintest nod, but his face betrayed his fear. "How could you fix something so twisted?" Katie squeezed his hand, telling him they were going to get through this. Electra entered then, her face composed yet pale. She nodded to Will, then to Bill. Bill said he was proud of her for standing by his son. Electra swallowed. She looked at Will and whispered only, "I haven't given up." And as she left the room, the weight of the promise Bill had made settled like concrete in Will's gut. Back in the prison visitation area, Luna sat behind the glass, teardrops on her cheeks, lip trembling, but her eyes cold and calculating. The guard announced a visitor and Luna assumed, momentarily, that it was Will. Hope flickered in her chest. She tried to compose herself, smoothing the hair from her face, adjusting her jail-issued sweater. She smiled a little. But the big cell door opened and in walked Bill Spencer, expression furrowed in anger and disappointment. Luna's smile died. "What are you doing here alone?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Bill ignored the question. He said flatly, "I'm not here to check up on you. I'm here to tell you that this child you carry doesn't absolve you. It doesn't get you off the hook." Luna's lip quivered. Bill stepped forward, voice louder, low and dangerous. "You used my son once. Thought he was your ticket in. Guess what, Luna? Not this time. The minute that baby is born, you'll lose custody. And I'll fight you to the gates for it." Luna gasped, the words crashing through her. She tried to respond but Bill cut her off. "You will stay behind bars. The influence I once used to bail you out, I'll use it to keep you locked up. Forever." Bill turned and walked off, leaving her stranded on the other side of the glass. Luna's eyes narrowed, her mind racing. The guard escorted her back to her cell. She passed an inmate who sneered, "No daddy bail this time, huh?" Luna tolerated it, glancing again at Bill's departing figure, and then whispered under her breath, "No, I'll find another way." Her fist clenched the bench. Behind her ice-blue stare, she began forming the next move. As night fell over Los Angeles, the lines between family, vengeance, desperation, and hope blurred. Every character was pushed to a limit, every bond tested, every secret whispered louder. Steffi would not relent. Bill would not forgive. Will, Electra and Katie would not be broken. And Luna. She was already turning the chaos into a puzzle she intended to win. The chessboard of fate had been set, and the next moves would be lethal.